There's a fundamental shift in computing just over the horizon. And it's a change so massive, it actually threatens to shatter the very foundation of our digital security. So today, we're going to walk through a really clear guide to what's called quantum readiness to figure out how we can all navigate this coming digital storm. And that really brings us to the most important question you should be asking yourself right now. Seriously, think about it. Your company's secrets, your personal info, all the data you think is securely locked away, is it truly safe from the computers of tomorrow? And look, this isn't science fiction. A 2023 survey of cybersecurity experts laid it all out. There's a really significant chance that a quantum computer, one that can break our current encryption, will exist in the next 10 to 15 years. The clock is officially ticking. So, to prepare, first things first, we need to understand exactly what we're up against. This is the quantum threat. And let me tell you, it's a cybersecurity challenge unlike anything we have ever faced before. Here's probably the simplest way to think about it. Today's encryption, the stuff that protects our banking, our messages, all our secrets, it's like an incredibly complex lock that has a very specific key. A quantum computer, though, it's not just another key. It's like a universal master key that can figure out the combination to pretty much any digital lock almost instantly. Suddenly, all those locks we rely on are completely useless. Okay, I know, that sounds pretty scary, but the good news is there's a plan. We can actually look to Canada's National Quantum Readiness Guidelines for a clear, expert-backed roadmap that shows us the path to safety. And here it is, the roadmap itself. It's broken down into two major stages, which is nice and simple. Stage 1, which runs through the end of 2024, is all about planning and scoping. Then, starting in 2025, we kick off Stage 2, the implementation phase. It's a really clear, structured path forward. And we can break it down even further. The whole journey is divided into 6 core phases, right from the initial prep work all the way to the final validation. Laying it out like this makes the entire process feel way more manageable. So let's focus on Stage 1, because these are the absolutely crucial first steps, the preparation, the discovery, and the risk assessment that every single organization needs to be starting right now. This is the immediate priority. So the first practical step is what's called discovery. This flowchart here kind of visualizes that process of taking inventory. The logic is simple, right? You can't protect your cryptographic systems if you don't even know where they all are. So, what's your immediate action plan? Well, first, you've got to educate your teams and start that inventory. Figure out what data you have. And, this is a big one, start asking your vendors about their plans for post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. That's the new kind of encryption designed to fight back against these quantum attacks. Okay, so once you know what you have, the next step is figuring out what's most at risk. And it turns out there's a really simple but incredibly powerful formula that helps you prioritize everything. And this is it. This little equation is so important for figuring out your risk. If the time it takes you to upgrade a system, that's the migration time, plus the number of years your data needs to stay secret, its shelf life, is greater than the threat timeline, well, then your data's vulnerable. Here's what that formula looks like in a picture. That top bar is your migration time plus your data's shelf life. The bottom bar is the threat timeline. If that top bar stretches out past the bottom one, you're in the red at-risk zone. This is that harvest now, decrypts later threat you hear about, where bad actors steal your encrypted data today and just wait for a quantum computer to crack it open in the future. So let's quickly break down each of these terms. First, migration time. This isn't just flipping a switch, This is the real-world time, in years, that you're going to need to plan, budget, and actually roll out these quantum-safe upgrades. Next up, shelf life time. How long does your data need to stay secret? For some sensitive records, we could be talking decades. And this is so critical because, like I said, adversaries can steal that encrypted data now and just sit on it, waiting for a quantum computer to come along and decrypt it later. And finally, the threat timeline. This is our best guess for how many years we have until a powerful enough quantum computer exists. And remember the expert consensus we saw at the beginning? A conservative estimate puts that at around 10 to 15 years from now. So once you've inventoried your systems and you've assessed your risk, you've pretty much completed Stage 1. But what happens next? What does the road ahead actually look like once you get to implementation? Well, the roadmap shows Stage 2, implementation, kicking off as early as 2025. This is the phase where you're actively mitigating those risks, migrating your systems to the new quantum-safe standards, and then, of course, validating that everything works. It is definitely a multi-year journey from planning to protection. Ultimately, the official guidelines leave us with one really urgent message. Executive leaders are encouraged to direct their organizations to start work now. I mean, the expert consensus couldn't be any clearer. The time to prepare isn't tomorrow, it's today.
So, we end right back where we began, with a question. The threat is real, the timeline is getting shorter, and the path forward is clear. The quantum clock is ticking. The only question left is, are you ready?